The Underworld, as featured in Homer's The Odyssey, versus the Underworld as featured in Virgil's The Aeneid, trips to the Underworld, by Lacey Williams. Odysseus goes to the Underworld to consult the dead seer Tiresias via the goddess Circe's behest to warn about the dangers ahead on his way home. Aeneas consults priestess Sibyl to get to the Underworld to see his father and discover his destiny. The trek to the Underworld is different for each man. Odysseus gets there via the ocean, and Aeneas gets there via a cave guided by Hecate, who had to do a ritual for. Sibyl joins Aeneas and gives him a golden branch of fate for entry. Fate decrees it, so Charon must make an exception. Usually souls must pay a fare, but with this branch, he's able to cross. Odysseus gains entry via sacrificial ritual. Arouse your comrades and command them to take the sheep that lie there, slain by the ruthless bronze, and flay and burn them, along with the prayers to the gods. Homer, page 168, lines 530 through 4. Hell's landscape is different in each work. In the Odyssey and the Aeneid, both works showcase hell as gloomy and joyless. However, in the Odyssey, the spirits are all in the same place. There is no separation between good and evil spirits. In the Aeneid, however, souls are separated depending on their morality. This includes the fields into different areas. Includes the fields of mourning for those who have died for love, the fields of war heroes for those slain in battle, and Tartarus, where Rhadamanthus stood as evil spirits, and Elysium gardens for the good spirits, which is featured in page 231 of the Aeneid. The creatures also live in the Underworld's in the Aeneid's Underworld, like Furies, the god of sleep, and Cerberus guarding the gate. It also touches on reincarnation, which happens via Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, where souls must wash away the memories of their past lives before reincarnating with a blank slate. In Hell, the denizens are quite different. Souls in the Odyssey are unable to touch things and talk to them. And to talk to them, Odysseus had to feed them blood. He talks to his mother, his newly dead comrade, who he thought was safe on the Isle of Circe, but he would unfortunately die to illness, and even heroes like Hercules, who were being punished. Aeneas, however, finds his father in the gardens after adventuring through the different areas, where he meets fellow Trojans, fearful Greeks, and Queen Dido, who disdainfully fixed her eyes unmoved upon the ground, and what he says in slurs regards no more. She has lost her faith in him, and he grieves the fact that he had failed her. There are major events that happen in both works. Both Odysseus and Aeneas enter heated by divine beings to visit their dead companions, and they seek advice from spirits, which include the seer Tiresias for Odysseus, and for Aeneas it was his father. Odysseus sails home wary of Poseidon and Helios' cattle, whom they mustn't harm, as decreed by Tiresias. Death will come to you from the sea, the gentlest of ends. This that I tell you is the truth. Aeneas, however, learns of the future of the Roman Empire after discussing reincarnation with his father and what his destiny will be. He leaves via the Gates of Sleep, which is actually not featured in the Odysseus as to be an exit. Then, through the Gates of Ivory, he dismisses valiant offspring and divining guest. Hades and Persephone versus Pluto. The rulers of said underworld are featured in both works, but mostly take a background role. Persephone and Hades rule in the Odyssey in the background, but they don't mete out divine judgment themselves, which that honor belongs to Minos. In the Aeneid, Hades is called Pluto and also lives in a golden palace. He too rules in the background. Neither works showcase the rulers as being involved in the judgments of the souls, but merely presiding over them. Both works, of course, though, have the guard dog Cerberus guarding the gates. There are major similarities and differences. Virgil patterned his work after Homer's, hence the similarly gloomy air and how both heroes see their loved ones while getting advice. By Virgil's time, however, the entrance to the underworld was believed to be in a cave in Italy, hence the difference in Odysseus and Aeneas' journeys and entrances into the underworld. It was believed in Virgil's time that the souls must pay his fare, which is why Aeneas had to show the branch to Charon, unlike Odysseus. Typically, souls were buried with money and to pay the fare as they appeared on the tongues. However, those who were not given a proper burial could not cross. Homer's doesn't include separate areas, though, and all souls must watch each other be punished. Minos judges them, but in Virgil's on the underworld, there are 3 separate areas for souls depending on their alignment, and whereas good, where they go to the Elysian fields to frolic, and evil, which are judged in Tartarus. Virgil's underworld incorporates the concept of reincarnation with the Lethe River, which is actually not seen in the Odyssey. On the way home, both men leave the underworld via boat, with Odysseus returning to Circe, who tells him of the dangers he must yet face. Odysseus finishes his trek wary of Poseidon's wrath, having faced Sirens and Scylla. His men harm Helios' livestock, and as foretold, only Odysseus survives. He finally gets home and kills all the suitors for his wife hands with Athena's aid. Having now grasped the significance of his trek, Aeneid founds a new city in Italy, as foretold by his visions of the Roman Empire, which are started by him. And these are my works cited.